Hello and welcome to Fresh Face One Shots. My name is Joey.
I'm Jacob.
And today we are joined by special guest June of the Enterprise System.
Hello.
And we are all here to talk today about the 2024 DC Pride Anthology special thing. We did it last year, so we're doing it this year too. Although it's late. I apologize.
It's late this year because
I'm definitely not getting this out before June ends. So happy month after Pride Month, everyone.
Happy Pride 2.
You've now entered the second Pride Month.
the second Pride month.
It's even gayer than the first. So, all right. We have the 2024 Pride Anthology. I guess let's kind of jump right into this. I guess with our first one, "Hello Space Boy" by Al Ewing. So
my boy Al Ewing.
Al Ewing. Okay, so I gotta say, I'm still disappointing our good friend Jamie, and I still haven't read any Al Ewing.
I was gonna say, is Jamie a big Ewing fan?
Jamie is, I think, probably the biggest Ewing fan I know.
You're disappointing me and the friend and my friends that I share a brain with too, because we love Immortal Hulk.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I need to get on that. But this was good. I liked this first story. This was fun.
I will say we have a Joey and I were talking about this in DMs. This anthology as a whole, I've read 3 of these.
Mm-hmm.
I think this might be, I don't say the weakest, but it's the most samey, like in terms of what a lot of the stories do. But I think this one is one of the more almost biting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I do. I think in general, and I still really enjoyed this anthology, but compared to previous years, I do think it is missing a certain bite that previous ones have had.
Personally, I enjoyed this one a lot more than the other ones, barring obviously Kevin Conroy's story.
I mean, Conroy's is still the absolute peak. But,
I think it's going to be very difficult for any of these anthologies to top Conroy's story. There is one story here that gets close, and it's the obvious one.
Yeah,
it comes from a similar place.
See, I think this one is a bit more grounded and I don't know how to describe it, but it hit in a lot of ways I was kind of surprised by. In a lot of ways I don't think a lot of other queer media has.
Interesting. I have found it, in general, I think I found this one a bit more of a, I suppose the word I'm looking for is more positive anthology than the previous ones. Not that the others didn't have their positive and fun moments, but I think in general, I guess when we say it's missing a sort of bite, I think there's I suppose not as much focus on
the bad.
Yeah, exactly, and that's not a bad thing at all, really. I shouldn't even I wouldn't even really say it's a bad thing. I think, but because it is sort of stepping away from that more, I suppose it feels, if nothing else, different from the previous anthologies.
Yeah, see, I agree, because that is the thing. We do need to focus a lot on the bad, because a lot of times queer media is super focused on just the good aspects, and I think if a lot more people knew about the bad aspects, then as a trans woman, I would assume and hope that people would be a bit more supportive. But I think the thing about this specific anthology is that it came out, I think, at just the right time for what it was, because I think right now, if a Pride anthology came out and it was all about, if it had that same bite that the others had, it would probably make a bunch of the queer audience uneasy at the moment, especially with how bad, especially the trans community has been treated lately.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry,
just one story in particular is probably the one that gets closest to having the bite. Sort of that bite that I'm looking for, because a lot of it's about questioning your own identity, pondering your own identity while still questioning your own identity in a way, and how you define a relationship, trying to thread that needle. Characters that I am not familiar with.
I gotta admit, I'm not familiar with Starman myself either, and that's fine. That's cool. I think overall, I think these anthologies in general tend to expose me to characters that I just don't see a lot in DC publishing. And that's always cool to have. I really appreciate that. This one also does have its fair share of moments. I love, of course, the fighting the giant. They call it they call it the Scream Seed. It's a giant space tentacle monster thing. I love it. It's so cool.
What was the line? What was the line the one guy said? It was like, I may not be a musician, but I have a poet's heart, and then he called it that.
yeah. Oh, it's so much fun. Yeah. Overall, I mean, it's a great first story to open up on, and it's good stuff.
I adore the sort of like sexual undertones in it. I think I brought this up last year with the what was it, Midnighter one?
Oh yeah.
I love how open I feel like a lot of like queer stories are being now with the sexual aspect. That's really nice, especially like with how many people demonize queer people for being, horny as shit.
Yeah, understandable, definitely.
I mean, some of it is also just sexuality in general in media, especially media aimed at a younger audience, is often in certain ways too taboo, if that makes sense. Like this is an anthology aimed at teens.
Exactly. A specific group of people who are very much discovering sexuality for the first time.
And I think being open about that, just in general, storytelling is better. Because I mean, as a culture, we have many issues where we don't discuss like sex is a dirty word. And a writer like Al Ewing here does a really good job of that needle by being explicit but never too explicit.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Al Ewing also does this thing in the story. He has what I like to call Grant Morrison dialogue, which is dialogue where it's the most insane shit you've ever heard in your life, but because of how it's worded and how it's said by the character, you're kind of like, okay, I get it. That's normal as hell. That's just how this world works.
Yeah. A lot of it is about the context and sort of making those more bizarre things work. It's great. Yeah, it's really great. But yeah, I think we should move on to our second one then. We got The Rivers and the Lakes That You're Used To. First off, great reference to have as a title. I love that. But also, this is by, I'm going to butcher the name, I know I am, Gozi Ukazu, I think. I apologize. I apologize for all of that. But we have a Jackson Hyde focused story here.
My boy.
Oh.
I love Jackson from Young Justice. I'm a bit of a little freak. I'm a bit of a little Young Justice fan.
Fair enough. I haven't watched Young Justice in so long. I only ever watched I suppose it's called like the original run now, I guess. But I never watched any of the stuff where they like sort of like continued the show. I really should have. But anyway, yeah. This is a fine enough story. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but it was cool. I do like some of the art in it, also by Ukazu, which is fun. It's got these really nice like soft tones to it. Very cool stuff.
I love how it explores like trying to find your place in a world that's kind of like against queer people to a degree, and how like they were like, hey, look, here's this world that isn't against queer people, and also here's Orion, who's a bit of like the most asexual man you've ever met in your life. I adored that. I adored this one. This is one of my favorites, actually.
Oh, interesting. I don't know. I suppose I didn't personally latch onto it a lot, but cool. I mean, I'm glad you really enjoyed it. That's awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Decent.
I wonder if this is one that felt for me a bit too fluffy in places. Like,
interesting.
I'll kill you.
You
just
should.
A little bit.
You'll die.
Then die. Oh my god. Anyway, I guess we'll just move on to the next one then. Yeah, we got
Poison Ivy and Janet from HR and
yes.
in Marasmius. This is a great. This is one of my favorites.
This one is my kind of insane bullshit.
Yep.
Oh, I adore this one.
Yeah, this one's so fucking good. Yeah.
How do you
really,
get a
really
bunch
fun.
of people high, like, to kill them because they're homophobic and transphobic? That's awesome as shit. Metal as fuck, I love that.
It's so good. Oh man, I love it. I do also like the way that we need to mention the I suppose the writer of this one, Gretchen Felker Martin. I just love the way that they write Poison Ivy in this. It's really great. Just a great attitude for. I mean, Poison Ivy is also like not herself in this, but it's cool. It's really cool to see. I do like the way that she's written throughout this.
Doesn't Poison Ivy have an ongoing right now? That's like
She does. I believe it's still being written by G. Willow Wilson.
Really?
Yeah, I think. Well, I only ever read it back when it was originally supposed to be a mini series, and then I didn't pick it up after it was like it was turned into an ongoing. But from what I would have read, it was really good, and it was G. Willow Wilson that she does a fantastic job with the character. So, which is actually I'm kind of surprised, I guess, that she didn't write this, but I don't know if G. Willow Wilson is part of the community at all. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, sort of beside the point. But yeah, I did really love this one. Sort of like literally using these people's bigotry against them in a way. It was
so
really fun. Yeah, really fun.
What did you do
story.
to those transphobes? I made them stoned.
Oh, so good. So good. Yeah, I guess I suppose we'll move on to our next one then. Stealing Time. Get it? It's spelled stealing, like steel, because this is about steel.
Whoa, I never would have guessed that, Joey Morgan. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it.
My stupid trans girl brain wouldn't have been able to comprehend it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm really here to just explain this to you guys.
This is why cis people exist.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. Well.
This is our place in the world, explaining the joke.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I'm just really happy because John Constantine shows up in this one, and he unfortunately, unlike last year, he doesn't get a story to himself. But I do like the role that he plays in this one.
So do I.
This one's about Natasha Irons having relationship troubles.
Mm-hmm.
Delightfully soap opera-esque relationship troubles. And I like that this one kind of ends on a hinting at things, but not like that lovely coming to an understanding, but not necessarily pursuing a relationship. Lesser writers
The
may have...
ones that ended with if you want to read more, read this new upcoming comic that's happening right now.
Oh no, that was the Aqualad one. That was the Jackson Hyde one that ended with the was it the Barda graphic novel that's coming up? I think.
Yeah, I might get that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was that one.
Which I think is already out. It says it's coming out June 4th.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm
we're recording
late as usual.
Yeah, we're recording this way late, but so yeah, it's out, and I guess go read that. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, no, I did really like Stealing Time. I thought it was a really, really great story. Natasha is a character that I personally don't have like a ton of exposure to, but one that I find myself continually enjoying more.
She keeps popping up in the Pride releases, and it keeps making me want to read stuff with her in it.
I need to check out Steelworks. I think she features pretty prominently in that. That was a newer, like sort of Dawn of DC one.
Yeah, well, I think that was what that was a mini from last.
That was a mini. Yeah, I think it was. I want to say it was like 6 issues or something. But yeah. Oh my god! Speaking of Dawn,
that was written by Michael Dorn.
I think
What?
Wait, was it?
Worf?
I think so.
I don't remember. Was it?
It was, I think.
What the fuck?
Sure.
How about that?
Because
I don't know if
he
it's done or
voiced
not.
Steel in the Superman the animated series, no?
That's true.
That's oh my god.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, Michael Dorn. Holy shit! I did not know that. Huh? Now I really need to check it out because yeah, I don't know. Well, I've also started watching. Well, those that keep up with other videos on the channel, I'm not there yet, but recording wise, I'm watching Star Trek: Next Generation right now. So there's that. But,
Let's go.
Yeah. But anyway, because we mentioned Dawn of DC, and I have to bring it up. I saw a fucking article recently that was like Dawn of DC 2023 to 2024, and it was like they just took away the label, like they do fucking every sort of relaunch of number ones, like Infinite Frontier and Rebirth. Like all those labels disappear after a while. Doesn't mean they fucking gave up on it or abandoned Dawn of DC. Like, so weird.
This new era of DC Comics is fucking awesome. I'm
so good. Genuinely so good. I love it. Dawn of DC was I fucking loved it. I still am loving it, I should say.
Same.
Great.
One thing I wanted to bring up, while obviously I'm white, it's not really my place to like make any specific statement, so I'm going to preface this with, if anybody is watching and they're black and I'm wrong, please correct me. I appreciate how there are at least 2 stories in this that are focused on black queer people, which is like pretty rare in most queer media that I've been exposed to, and from what I've heard from friends in the black community, that's like I'm right that is rare, and I think it's nice that this pride issue has had at least 2. They need to have more, but like it's nice to see that ball's getting going.
It seems like DC, just as a company, is trying to is in some ways trying to branch out in terms of just their writing staff and artist staff in general.
There's a story later on in this anthology that comes to mind with like the writing and art style, at least.
Anyway, moving on to the next one. We've got Bros Down in A-Town by Jarrett Williams. I mostly like
about
this
labels. The way, like, and how labels don't always fit. People don't always fit nicely into labels, which is nice. I love the art style in this one. It's almost very webcomic-y, but it works for what it is.
I like it because of how the art style portrays John. Because like I don't know. Lately I've kind of come to not really like John Kent Superman.
No,
I don't know.
No, I love John.
There's someone in my system who likes him.
God, I love John. John's great. Although I do agree that I do really like him in this story, and especially also because Jacob brought up the art style. It's not how I typically imagine John as a character looking, but it's actually one that I think really works, especially when we're describing his relationship with Jay. I think that's really it works really well for me, at least.
I will say, BJ Kirkland is clearly a fan of Dragon Ball. Insights here that I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure, are inspired by some Dragon Ball stuff that people have shared with me. I haven't actually seen anything Dragon Ball outside of Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
I have not seen anything.
As somebody who's watched pretty much the entire franchise front to back like 100 times, you're totally right.
Jesus.
I've been watching it since I was 6, man.
I did not know that about you. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah, no, it was my first real hyperfixation.
Goddamn, that's great. But anyway, fun story. Another really fun story. Next we have probably actually what was my probably second favorite story of the anthology, Lessons in Astral Projection by Nicole Maines.
Yes!
Fucking loved this one. This was so good. Dreamer's also
so beautiful.
She's first off just a character that I've grown to really, really love recently. I like seeing her whenever I see her. I like that she's taking a much more prominent role in current DC things, which is great.
And she seems to be having a big role in Absolute Power.
Yeah, which is
I'm so fucking excited for that.
Fucking imagine
a trans woman in a leading role in a comic book.
Yeah, headlining that. Well, to the point where even I don't know if you read the Suicide Squad series that Nicole Maines recently wrote, Dream Team with Dreamer on it. And that sort of is tying into Absolute Power in a way. But yeah, that and also Absolute Power Ground Zero is out actually, and you should totally check that out because she's actually in that and she plays a great role in that. We actually have a video out on it. Me and Jacob just recorded one recently. So
Absolute Power is being done by the World's Finest team,
yes,
right?
Mark Waid and Dan Mora. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Ground Zero is
that's an instant
got a
pickup,
bunch of different artists on it because it's 3 little prelude stories.
Yeah.
In a way.
Plus Nicole Maines writes the Dreamer section, so that's cool.
Sick.
Well, co-writes the Dreamer section. But
yeah.
You get the idea.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, this is a great story. Is all I'm trying to say, I guess. This is really good.
This is a bit different for me.
Yeah,
Sorry, you go.
I was gonna say it's a lovely sort of examination of gender in a way, in a way that I would kind of surprised DC would do, because any sort of corporate product isn't always going to want to take swings. But I imagine, knowing things about Nicole Maines, she has the power to push for this sort of thing.
Yes.
I think if there's any any sort of big headlining issue or series from DC that you're going to be able to do those sort of things in, it is the annual Pride anthology.
This is also true. I'm also so glad I read this before reading Ground Zero, so I had some context and sense of who Dreamer was.
That's cool. Well, she did also have a very short story in the last Pride anthology that I remember.
Yeah.
That I remember you not being a massive fan of, Jacob, because it was pretty short.
Wasn't it like a prelude to like the Dreamer graphic novel that was coming out at the time?
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe? I want to say it was kind of a promo for something else. But yeah.
My thing about this story is it's very different for me now that certain weird ass revelations about my life have come about recently, because it's all about kind of like figuring out who you are and what your place is in sort of like the world, gender related too, but obviously everybody here, but maybe not the viewers, well, obviously not the viewers, know that I recently found out that I have dissociative identity disorder. So in actuality, while I've appeared in the past on the channel, it may not have been me. It may have been any number of the 70 other people living in my brain. That is an exact number. And I don't know. I've had to really rediscover my identity, and so has everybody else in the system lately. And my relationship to people, and where I fit in the world, and just who I am and what my name is, and like what that means and why I'm the way I am. And so this story hits really hard for me nowadays.
I fucking love that. I genuinely fucking love that. I love that for you. That's so good. Genuinely actually makes me love the story even more. So
oh my god! Don't make me
so
cry,
good.
man.
Sorry. Fuck it. Let's move on to the next one. Next one.
Last bullshit, guys. Well,
Phantom.
last bullshit makes it sound bad. It was actually really good.
Phantom Rodeo by Calvin Kasulki, I think. I don't know. Anyway.
I will say, actually, you know what? Quick point of criticism. The first editing these and in charge of the title cards, some of these could have been integrated better and made it slightly easier to read, because I am struggling with some of these a little bit.
You are also literally visually impaired, Jacob.
Yeah, yes, but it should cater to me specifically.
Exactly.
Hey, I think a book made for a Cyclops would be great. Wait, the X-Men. Fuck.
Oh my god. Anyway, Phantom Rodeo has some is about a character named Circuit Breaker, and also has some fun Jay Garrick shit. I
despise this. I hate this story so goddamn much.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Oh no! I mean, it wasn't like the absolute best in the anthology, but I wouldn't say I hated it. I'm curious what you didn't like about it, actually.
I think it's incoherent.
Man.
I think it's incoherent, and I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. I did not jazz with the story whatsoever. I fucking hate it. I did not like it.
Damn. Ouch. I mean, again, I didn't absolutely love it, but I mean, it's fine.
No offense to the writer or anything.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
I just do not personally like the story. I kind of vibed with they did one last year with Circuit Breaker, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of vibed with that one. It was the weakest of the last one, but I liked it a bit. But I don't know. I just hate this. Hate this.
Fair enough.
I will say it may help if I don't know if you're reading Flash, but I'm not reading Flash. I don't know.
I am not reading Flash right
My
now.
only context to this character is that they appeared last year.
I'm not reading Flash currently. I should be, but I'm collecting way too many ongoings right now, and also with X-Men shit coming up, I can't afford to add anything else to my ongoing.
No, there's some X-Men stuff coming that.
No. I'm just even talking about my own personal collections. Like I'm collecting like 3 X-Men titles coming soon. So
I know. Oh, I know you're doing all 3. It's insane.
Okay. Anyway, okay. Let's talk about actually one of my absolute favorites in this collection. Then, The Strange Case of Harleen and Harley. I fucking loved this one.
Yeah,
this was so good.
Here's the thing. This isn't a full story. This is a preview for a graphic novel.
But I want it, Jacob.
Honestly, I'll probably fucking check it out. It seems really fun. I really enjoyed this.
It's really adorable. I love it.
It is. I really, really love this one.
Gridgeway, let's go.
I really love this about a little Harley, a little Ivy, and just being kids. I don't know. I really liked it. I thought it was really cute. It's one of the shorter ones because again, it is just a preview. But no, it's really great. Not much to hate here. So, but then we have the last one here.
Oh my god, so good.
Spaces by Phil Jimenez. So,
wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, first off, obviously inspired by the fact that we've done a somewhat similar story like this in a previous anthology collection, the much lauded Kevin Conroy story of 2 years past. But I mean, it still works. It's still great. I think honestly, this is the kind of thing that I'm not saying it should be like every single story in the Pride anthology, but I think sharing the specific stories of LGBTQIA plus creators in these anthologies, I think there's a reason that they're some of the stories that are most remembered and beloved in these collections. They're fucking beautiful. Like this one.
They're both the most personal and the most raw.
I cried reading this one. I'm gonna be real.
It also makes me want to read more Phil Jimenez's work on Wonder Woman because
I adore Phil Jimenez's work on Wonder Woman.
I unfortunately have not read it, but I should.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's one of the
hard recommend.
One of those many runs that I'd love to get to.
So many, so many. We have so many.
Too many.
So good.
I have another DID sort of related rant in a bit that I kind of want to bring up with this, but it's also like intertwined with queerness. So.
You could bring it up now if you want to. We're sort of starting to wrap up. By all means.
The thing about Phil Jimenez's story is that it brings up a lot of like that sort of like safe area you kind of create in your mind with fiction. Kind of dreaming you could wake up in a place where like queer people are accepted or people who are different. And queer person here. I grew up with that same thing. I kind of always like, in my mind, it wasn't necessarily Paradise Island. It was, I always wanted to like wake up in like the Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters and stuff, and just be surrounded by people who are different. And that, especially like that sort of like mental place you create where you just kind of go to in your imagination that like helps you sort of isolate from the bad parts of the world is something I relate to now even more that I know I have dissociative identity disorder because I think I've told Jacob before. I don't know if entirely you remember Jacob. I don't know if you know about this, Joey. There's this concept within systems called headspace. And it's sort of like that psychological idea of a mind palace where you kind of like meditate and you create sort of like an imaginary world in your head and you use it to kind of keep your thoughts organized. It's like a technique, like a mental technique. It's not real, but people with DID have that too, and we're encouraged to do that to like communicate with other alters in the system that you're in. Like I use that to communicate with other people in my stupid little brain. It's also where we go when we're not currently fronting, which is the term that we use for when, like, say me right now, June, I'm here, I'm talking to you, I'm fronting, I'm in control of the body. If I were not here, somebody else would be fronting. That's where we go when we're not fronting. It kind of serves as like a place that we go to rest when being out is a bit more overwhelming. And so, like, I don't know. This one hit me hard. Like I said, I cried a lot while reading it.
I genuinely sorry. I feel like I should be contributing to that more, but I genuinely love just hearing about your like experiences with that, and I just knowing how like you are able to like relate to this story so specifically, but still in a different way that is unique to you.
But thank you.
I love that. That's so cool. Fuck.
I think it's why these stories hit so hard, because they can reach a lot of people in a lot of ways.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better way to start to close this out. Fuck,
yeah,
that's
why I'm glad they also include them, but include them sparingly, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and also that the fact that both times they've done it, they've closed the collection, and just put a nice little button on them.
Basically, what I'm saying is that if you ever want to escape from the real world, traumatize yourself until you're not the only person in your brain. For legal reasons, I am joking.
Absolutely.
For legal reasons, I'm kidding.
Wait, you're joking? What? No.
Traumatize yourself.
Do it.
The worst things anybody's ever gone through.
Read every Frank Miller comic. No. On that note, I think that's a wonderful note to close this out on. So, thank you, June and the Enterprise System for joining us for this. It really meant so much. That was fucking awesome.
Thank you for having me on. It meant a lot.
Yeah. To those watching, be sure to check out other Fresh Face one-shots that we do. We've been covering so much lately. Superman by Joshua Williamson, which just finished up its crossover event, House of Brainiac. Batman the Brave and the Bold by Various. Wonder Woman by Tom King, which has been awesome. Also, both Superman and Wonder Woman are crossing over with the summer DC event, Absolute Power, which we are also covering on the channel. We're also covering the upcoming Robin Lives mini-series from DC. So be sure to check out all that. It means a lot to us.
And if you don't, I'll traumatize you and give you DID.
That is a real threat.
That is a real threat from a person who could definitely do that.
Definitely. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, this has been Joey Morgan,
Jacob Licklider,
and June from the Enterprise System.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.